Overall, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were great games. They improved on a lot of the awesome features of the original Hoenn games, and they added even more features to make them that much better. However, these games aren't perfect. So, in today's video, I'm going to be analysing the top 10 annoying elements of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Bear in mind that these are all my opinions, so don't take anything I say too much to heart. Number 10. Warp Panels. In the Lily Cove hideout of Team Aqua or Magma, depending on which game you're playing, there is a room with these warp panels. These were incredibly frustrating to go through, though I'll admit they weren't anywhere near as bad as the warp panels used in Silph. This is so low on the list because even though it's a very annoying element of the game, I can see why it would be implemented, when you take into consideration that you receive a Master Ball at the end. It's a challenge, albeit a very annoying one. Number 9. Routes 132 to 134. These routes are the routes that you must navigate in order to reach the sealed chamber, which is important if you want to access the Regi Trio. However, navigating this route can be extremely frustrating, and there'll be many times when you see that all-important dive spot, but be unable to reach it as the current carries you away. And even if you do reach the dive spot, you won't even be able to unlock the Regi Trio without a Wailord and a Relicanth in your party, meaning that you'd have to come back again. This is similar to the warp panels in the sense that there is a reward at the end of the challenge, but it's still annoying. Number 8. No Barry Blunder. It was awesome to see Pokemon contests return in the Hoenn remakes, and in my opinion they were even better than before. In order to succeed in contests, you need to improve your Pokemon's condition by feeding it Pokeblocks, which can be made by using the Barry Blunder. This little feature was really fun, but it didn't come back in the remakes. Pokeblocks are just too easy to make now, so there's not really a lot of fun in it anymore. Number 7. Shiny Locks. This has been an ongoing problem since Generation 5, but it still isn't much better. Shiny Locks are where a Pokemon is deliberately coded to never be shiny. The Pokemon's nature and IVs will change, but its shininess will never change. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the Pokemon that is shiny locked are the Weather Trio. I can understand why this would be done, as the developers probably wanted people to focus more on the gameplay rather than shiny hunting, but it's still annoying to know that if I ever wanted to have a shiny Primal Groudon or Kyogre, or even a shiny Mega Rayquaza, then I'd have to hunt it in a previous generation and transfer it up, and to be honest, I don't like transferring my shinies outside of the generation in which I caught them. This is lower down on the list because, in this game, they actually managed to make use of the shiny lock in a positive way, by applying a shiny lock to the Poochyena used in the battle tutorial at the beginning of the game. So when I was hunting for my shiny Torchic in Omega Ruby, unlike in the originals, this Poochyena can never be shiny. Number 6. Easier methods of shiny hunting. Where there are problems with making shinies difficult to obtain in this game by applying shiny locks, there is also the fact that in general, shinies are now much easier to find. Too easy. The odds in Generation 6 were reduced from the original 1 out of 8,192 to 1 out of 4,096, but this is something I can live with. In fact, I actually enjoy hunting in these games. What I have a problem with are the fact that some methods are just broken. The Zuda method is much easier in this game, but it still takes some effort, so I'll leave that out. It's methods such as fish chaining, dex nabbing, and to some extent the shiny charm, which have made shinies far too easy to find. I started out shiny hunting in the older games, and it can take you weeks of on and off hunting to even find a single shiny, so when you do find one, it's really something special. But something that can potentially be found multiple times in a day can't be all that rare, can it? I feel that these methods have completely taken the value out of shinies, which is why I mainly shiny hunt in the older games. I'm not going to criticize anyone who finds shinies using these methods, but it's not my cup of tea. Number 5. The Aeon Ticket. In these games, the Aeon Ticket has returned. However, one of the most annoying things about it is the way that it's spread. Unlike the majority of recent events, this was not originally obtainable via Wi-Fi connection. The Aeon Ticket could only be obtained through Street Pass by street passing another player. Not only does this require you to go outside and interact with other people, but the other player has to actually have the Aeon Ticket. Fortunately, they later released a Wi-Fi event for this, but the initial way to receive this event was beyond annoying. Number 4. No trainer customization. One of the most exciting new features of Pokemon X and Y was that for the first time, you were able to customize your trainer. Prior to the release of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, a lot of people were excited for this to happen again, possibly with even more features added. But no, we're back to everyone having the same character. I understand that doing this was a way to make the game as similar to the originals as possible, but it's still a shame that such an awesome feature was removed. Number 3. Missed Mega Evolutions. Overall, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire give a pretty cool selection of new Megas. We were given the much wanted Mega Sceptile and Swampert, and even something as cool as Mega Rayquaza. I think that what was really disappointing was that unlike X and Y, there were no new Mega Evolutions in the game that hadn't previously been revealed. In X and Y, even upon the game's release, there were still Mega Evolutions being discovered, but in these games they'd all already been revealed, so there was no surprise element. We were also given some very unexpected Megas, such as Mega Ordino and Beedrill, instead of other much wanted Megas, such as other starter lines, and of course, Flygon. Number 2. No DLC for X and Y. One of the worst things about Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is the fact that you can only battle with these new Megas against players with copies of the same game. This has happened before in previous games, such as not being able to use Origin form Giratina or the Rotom forms in Generation 4, as they were introduced in Platinum, and so they aren't compatible with Diamond and Pearl. However, this is annoying on an entirely new level because they could have released an update for X and Y to include these new Megas, but chose not to. This means that all of these new Megas are completely useless when battling against a player who only owns a copy of X and Y. All I see here is a missed opportunity which would have allowed these games to be much more interactive with each other, which is why it has gained a spot on this list. And so, in my opinion, the most annoying element of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is no Battle Frontier! I'd say that the highlight of the new features introduced in Pokemon Emerald would definitely be the Battle Frontier. When I was little, I spent so many hours there, with my favourite places being the Battle Factory, the Battle Pike, and the Battle Pyramid. But in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, we get the Battle Resort. This was just such a missed opportunity. They could have brought the Battle Frontier back and made it even better than before, but all we get was the same old Battle Maison from X and Y. Again. I know that I previously stated that I enjoyed the references made to the Battle Frontier, but it's bittersweet. It's nice to see that it's acknowledged in these games, but at the same time, it's almost like rubbing salt into an open wound. There is still hope that the Battle Frontier may be released as DLC at some point, but that possibility seems to become less likely as time goes on. And so that was my list of the top 10 most annoying elements of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. If you can think of anything else, then be sure to let me know. But in any case, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!